Hello, welcome to another episode of Beyond Chronic Disease. My name's Wendy Gathercole. I'm your host. Welcome to the Anti-Diet Podcast. So, one Tipsy Tuesday, I screamed at you not to go on a diet anymore. Why? I have three major reasons why. And that is the first reason is if you've ever been on a diet, which most of you probably have been on one or more in your lifetime, and I'm guessing that you're not unlike me. I've been on many and I choose not to be on any anymore and for such a long time because I found a way that is sustainable and achievable without too much thinking, I guess, and no calorie counting and no weighing food and I don't know, all the other bits and pieces that are very restrictive. So diets are restrictive. So when they are restrictive, what do we do? We want more of what we can't have. I'm sure you're listening to this thinking, oh, yes, that's me. I've done that before. So that's one reason why I choose not to go on any more diets. And I'm advising you not to as well, because they are very restrictive and you'll end up eating more of what you're not supposed to be having and putting on more weight than when you started out, which is another reason why I choose not to diet. Okay, so most diets, as we probably are aware as well, are not sustainable in the long run, which is that restriction. So there's many diets out there that I'm not a fan of. I'm not a fan of any of them really. Um, but there's some that are very, very restrictive, like that only eat meat or only eat animal products and, don't eat fruits and vegetables and all of these sorts of things. So they're not sustainable over long term. And if you've been on diets before, you'll know that that is true. And also, the third reason why I say we shouldn't diet is because it just screws with our heads, basically. We create these bad body images and of what we should look like. And when we don't, we get really it just takes over our mind. We can get depressed. You can, get really down on yourself, and you need to not do that. So it just increases lots of anxiety and stress and emotional charges when you're trying to lose weight. Okay, so I know there's so much information out there about what you should be doing and shouldn't be doing. I don't even like the word should. And so the the thing is that I'm guessing that you probably know that fruits and vegetables are a good um, resource food for your body, and they are sustainable because it's quite easy to eat fruits and vegetables every day, if that's what you choose. And I know there's some people out there thinking, but I've got this problem and I can't digest fruit and I can't digest vegetables. And, over time, when you make small increment changes in your overall diet, and I say diet not as going on a diet, but the foods that you consume, these small changes over time, you will be able to digest. Your body will start acclimatizing to the good nutrients that you're putting into your body over time. So diets are not sustainable. They just cause stress and anxiety, and enough of us have got stress in our bodies also already, so we don't need any more. And that is a factor that many of us that will inhibit many of us losing weight anyway. So it doesn't matter how much you restrict your diet, how much exercise you do, you will not lose weight if you are majorly stressed in your body. So that's the first thing you really need to do is eliminate your stress. Okay, so I Googled some of the like the 5 top diets and came up with, 5. Whether they're the 5 top in the world or not, I have no idea. But I just wanted to give you a guide as to, you're probably thinking, well, asking, well, what should you be eating? If you don't already know, I wrote the book behind me, Whole Foods of Facts. I had Crohn's disease and I don't anymore. And my whole healing journey was with whole foods, and whole foods, nuts, seeds, legumes, and all of that was all handmade by me for nutrients for my body that made it heal. And in doing that, I got rid of some emotional problems as well, like depression, anxiety, all these things. So not only does the way that I'm going to guide you into eating improve your weight, it also improves other ailments in your body too. Now, it is a process and it's not an overnight fix for anybody, for anything. And it's not an easy thing just to pop a pill and all your troubles will go away. This is a lifestyle sustainable solution, which is why a no diet, I am very anti-diet approach does not work. Actually, I forgot what I was saying then, but I'm very much into food is the way that we eat or view food really has an impact on our bodies in general. So getting back to the top 5 diets, I just want to explain these a little bit to you and just show you that I'm not advocating these diets in any way, shape, or form. I'm just showing that there's 5 diets out there. They've got 5 completely different names. They're very similar in what they advocate anyway. And what I'm talking about is whole food, plant-based diet, which not only helps you shed excess kilos, but also can eliminate other ailments in your body, which is what I just said before. So the number 1 diet, and I'm probably giving these a bit of a plug because I'm going to be talking about them and naming them, but I'm not affiliated with them at all, and I neither agree or disagree with them. It's just I'm showing you what just the names of 5 diets and what they include and not include, and how it all ties into what I'm talking about. So the Mediterranean diet, we've probably all heard of the Mediterranean diet, and all these diets are very difficult to take on board straight away when we're eating a sad diet. A sad diet is a standard American diet, but it's a standard Australian diet too these days, which is highly processed food. So the Mediterranean diet has an emphasis on fruits and vegetables, olive oil, seafood, and other whole foods. The Mediterranean diet is sensible, flexible, and delicious. It's patterned after a traditional way of eating in Greece and other countries around the Mediterranean Sea. This well-studied plant-forward diet earns especially high marks for heart health and diabetes management and prevention. Okay, so if you've not heard of the Mediterranean diet, well, I've been over to Greece, and when you're eating the fresh food that they have over there, it feels good in your body. Now, I don't eat meat, but that I'm not saying that you shouldn't eat meat. I just choose not to eat meat. But this diet, the Mediterranean diet, it doesn't eliminate carbs or fats, but focuses on the carbohydrate rich foods in vegetables, legumes, beans, peas, pulses, nuts, and seeds, fruit, and whole grains. And then it focuses on the healthy, fat-rich foods, which are fatty fish, avocados, olive oil, nuts, seeds, and yogurt. Now, I know many of you saying, but what about if you've heard mercury in fish? Well, yes, that's correct, can be correct. You've got to source your food. So I'm not going to go into that completely, which is that the Mediterranean diet, it advocates whole plant-based foods, fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, legumes. Okay, so that's one diet. The next diet, the DASH diet, if you've heard of the DASH diet or not, it stands for Dietary Approaches to Stop Hypertension. Hypertension's heart disease. It was developed by physicians specifically to fight high blood pressure. But it, I'm reading it, sorry. The DASH diet is the top diet for overall health. This is what, the science has proven. It has a whole food, plant-based focus. It has flexibility and is not restricted. It's one of the best studied diets in the academic literature with consistent health benefits. So again, this DASH diet, it's a different name to the Mediterranean diet, but it focuses on whole food, plant-based foods. Okay, which is exactly what the Mediterranean diet focuses on. Okay, so number 3 is the MIND diet. If you haven't heard of that, the MIND diet is all the healthy foods that are known to boost brain health. And these are leafy vegetables, nuts, berries, whole grains, and you limit the unhealthy foods such as red meats, butter, sweets, fried food and fats, and all the processed foods. The MIND diet has been proven to promote better cognitive, if that's how you say it, function, and reduce the risk of dementia. Now, the MIND diet is basically the Mediterranean diet and the DASH diet and the good bits from those 2 diets combined. So here we have 3 diets, and they're all basically saying the same thing: whole foods, grains, nuts, seeds, legumes, all the good stuff. Non-fatty foods, no processed foods in there. Even one of them said, get rid of the red meat. And I know for a fact that the Anti-Cancer Council in Australia have changed their dietary influence, I guess, to eliminate or reduce your red meat intake. Now they're saying that. So that's been a big change in the some of the dietary food pyramids over the years. So we're reducing our red meat. So that's three diets. They're all whole food, plant-based. Realistically, that's what they are. Okay, and then they're non-restrictive, as in you can eat whatever you want on them as long as it's not all the processed packaged foods. And it's not just a matter of eating a carrot stick and a lettuce leaf. Okay, I've had lots of recipes go out this year, a recipe a week. They're not just carrot sticks and lettuce leaf. Okay, go into that another time. Next year is going to be a big part of what I'm doing with food next year. Okay, so number 4 is the Mayo Clinic diet. The Mayo Clinic they have a food pyramid. Now, I'm not so much into food pyramids. They have changed over time. I don't agree with the food pyramids. And the Mayo Clinic diet's food pyramid, it has sweets at the top, then it has fats and nuts, protein and dairy, and these are all just small parts, and then carbs, and then down the bottom, if you're not sure what a food pyramid is, so the pyramid, like the top part is you eat the less up the top, and then down the bottom is the most food that you would eat the most of. So down the bottom of the food pyramid of the Mayo Clinic diet is, guess what? Fruits and vegetables. So on the Mayo Clinic diet, they say do create balanced meals based on the Mayo Clinic's food pyramid. And it says to keep portion sizes in check. I can guarantee you, when you start eating whole plant-based foods, you won't need to eat a lot because they are so nutritionally filling, and they just you don't need to eat as much food because they've got so much nutrition in them, they just fill you up. Whereas processed foods are void of all nutrition, which is why we need to eat more and more and more of them, and then we don't feel really full. And because they're high in salt and sugar and highly addictive, which makes us eat more of them as well. And that's where we can, add on weight, add on, different ailments that our bodies can be susceptible to when they're not having the nutritionally high food. So it's don't eat foods with added sugar. Don't eat while watching TV, things like that. I mean, that's all part of it. And they've even got the risk. There's no indications of health risks with the Mayo Clinic diet. There will be no health risk indications with any of these diets because they are just focusing on whole food, plant-based fruits and vegetables, nuts, seeds, legumes, beans, anything that's whole food. And then you've got the number 5 diet that I've got here is the flexitarian diet. Now, if you know me anyway, I don't like being labeled. I say to people that yes, I'm a vegetarian. That's just easy because everybody knows that a vegetarian doesn't eat meat. It doesn't really explain what I do eat, but it just, don't eat meat. Okay. So the flexitarian diet. So when I used to say I ate meat a little bit, they would say, oh, so you're a flexitarian. Flexitarian, you eat whatever you want. Well, yes and no. So the flexitarian diet it's basically the guidelines of a vegetarian diet. But what is a vegetarian diet? So a vegetarian diet to me is whole food plant-based. Okay, it's not just not eating meat and then eating hot chips and cheese, because that can be a vegetarian diet as much as I like hot chips. But so that's what I mean. A vegetarian diet doesn't really explain what you are actually eating, just tells you more. And you'll probably agree with me here. If somebody says they're a vegetarian, all you think of straight away is they don't eat meat, right? So that's why I don't like these labels of diets anyway. So the flexitarian diet, you do follow a vegetarian diet, and then you can have an occasional meat dish. Okay. Now they tell you what to befriend. Tofu, beans, lentils, peas, nuts, seeds, and eggs. I don't eat eggs, but anyway, that's your choice, whatever. And it says don't overconsume animal products, processed foods, and foods high in saturated fat, sugar, and sodium, even if they are plant-based. Well, that is correct. A plant, just because there's plant-based foods out on the markets today that are still highly processed, that are still high in sodium and sugar. So we want to steer away from processed foods in general. Okay, so unless you can read the labels and really know what you're looking at, then you're best to stick to the fruits and vegetables, nuts, seeds, legumes, whole grains, and if your body can stomach it. Okay, so the flexitarian diet, it has been known to improve heart health, reduces the risk of type 2 diabetes and lower inflammation. And they stipulate without having to cut out meat entirely. And I know there's many of you that out there that cannot not eat meat. And that's cool. You know, I'm not telling you to give up all your meat. Um, I just choose not to eat it. But the thing is, with these diets, they're all called something different, but they all have the same premise, the same base is whole foods, plant-based, whole foods. So, I mean, whole foods are plant-based. I don't know why they say whole food plant-based because whole foods are plant-based anyway. And you can't have a whole food like an orange if it's not a plant. I mean, that's just how I'm seeing it. Is fruits and vegetables, and then your good nuts and your seeds, and and this is how you will be able to sustain a healthy lifestyle, a healthy eating lifestyle, because it is so much easier to add fruits and vegetables to your diet and without having to count calories and work out what exactly you're intaking, especially when you're cutting out processed foods and you're looking at the labels even on processed foods if you are buying them, and you're buying the ones that have the least amount of ingredients, the no preservatives, or the no additives and all that. And that is how you will be able to never diet again in your life because you will be able to just have a diet full of whole foods and you will naturally lose weight. You will naturally feel better. Your gut health will improve. Your brain health will improve. And you're also not going to be thinking about how much how many calories I've got, or oh, I'm not losing weight. And the one thing that you really need to do is not focus on actually losing weight. I've done a podcast before about this, something similar to this, and it was all about focusing on what you want your body to do, and then feeding it for that. Okay, so what I mean by that is I sport that I do, I found that when I was eating or drinking a certain way, that I wasn't able to perform as well. So then I changed what I was doing in that regard. I stopped drinking that, I stopped eating that, and I started drinking this and having that. So, and the little changes that you do every day add up to big changes at the end of it. And you'll find that you won't be able to eat the way that you used to once before. So the Anti-Diet podcast is all about nobody should be dieting ever because it it's not sustainable. It does your head in big time, and I know that you know what I mean by that. And you actually feel shite if you're on a diet and you don't stick to it, right? So if you're not dieting and you're just including lots of whole foods into your diet, eliminating your processed foods, go for a little walk every day, you will feel fantastic and your body will love you for it. So that's enough about the Anti-Diet podcast, although I just want to reiterate those 5 diets with all different names. They all basically are telling you, are including whole foods in, that's what their premise is, whole foods. And they've just got all different names, and yet they're all creating better functioning bodies. So that is the whole thing about the anti-diet. There's hundreds of diets out there, and I don't want you to go on any of them. I would suggest that you just up the healthy food options, which are fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, legumes, and whole grains. And you will be amazed at how much weight you lose, how much better your gut feels, and how much anxiety and depression, that brain fog, that it eliminates from your body. So give it a go. And if you stay tuned to me and Beyond Chronic Disease, and Facebook page and so forth, I'll have the links in the show notes here. Stay tuned, because next year I'm going to be bringing you more of all of this to make your 2025 and beyond better. So until next week, I will see you then. Bye.